Thank you for staying tuned to KUTV Primetime News, and we are back to have that conversation that I had promised you about. And in case you are joining us right now, then here it is. Times are truly changing, and this is evident in the health sector. Heart attacks have become more common than ever, with many people even in their 40s and even the younger ages finding themselves in this serious health complication. Well, just in case you haven't heard, the heart is that one body organ that supplies blood to all other parts. Joining us today is Zablon Orina, the blood pressure champion, to teach us what we may not know about heart attacks and reminding us what we are pretending to have forgotten. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
It's good to have
Thank
you
you so
in this
much.
particular set.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes,
Yes.
finally, I've longed to have the blood pressure right here so that we can talk about this thing because it is something that affects us.
Yes.
But just before you go very far, I want you to look to that particular camera. Tell us everything you're doing because, I know you're in health matters. Everything that you do that concerns this conversation, tell your audience what you really do.
As you heard, my name is Zablon Orina. I'm the blood pressure champion, and I'm the blood pressure coach and a patient advocate. So I teach corporates to manage their blood pressure before it becomes high. So I train healthy people to protect their hearts until they exit to 60 upon retirement. So I want people to exit to retirement with clean hearts. That's my purpose.
Amazing.
Yes.
Now let's get straight into this thing that is called heart attack. I want you to take us back to our biology class. Some of these things probably were not very mentioned in a detailed way in our biology class. Take us into that deeper level of understanding. What is a heart attack, even as you relate it to cardiac arrest, because some people would think it's one of the same thing. You're going to be telling us if it's one of the same thing. Okay. What is the heart attack?
Well, thank you so much. Something you mentioned about the heart, the function of the heart is to push blood across the body. One very important bit about the heart is that it supplies blood to itself. Now, that is the catch. So a heart attack occurs when part of the heart dies or does not get enough oxygen because a blood vessel that supplies the heart is blocked. That is a heart attack. Wow. So it's a drainage issue. The pipe that supplies blood to the heart is blocked. That's a heart attack.
Yes.
A cardiac arrest occurs when the electrical system in the heart fails. So you have the heart stopping to beat. That's a cardiac arrest.
Yes.
So a cardiac arrest is an electrical issue. A heart attack is a drainage issue.
Wow.
That's the difference.
Yes. And just in case you're joining us right now, this is not as complicated as it may sound. We're talking about very simple things. The heart is a body organ in your system, and it needs to supply blood to itself, as you have heard. Now, going on into this particular conversation, why heart attack? Why are we even talking about heart attack? What is the cause for alarm?
So I'm here because there is a very important bit that people don't get to hear about. Fact that heart attacks are not as sudden as people believe. So if a person gets a heart attack at 40, this heart attack did not begin yesterday.
Oh.
Yes. It takes years of planning and preparation to get a heart attack. And that is why it is very important that people get this information out here.
Yes.
So I told you earlier that a heart attack results from a blockage of a blood vessel taking blood to the heart. What happens during this blockage? So you're 25 years, you get a good job, and you start driving around, you take Anduthi to the stage, take a mat to town. Even if you don't own a car, you're leading a very sedentary lifestyle. So slowly cholesterol starts settling in the blood vessels. With time, that plague, it's called plague, with time it can rupture. Maybe when you're 40, that rupture now causes a clot that then blocks that artery or blood vessel. Then we say you have a heart attack. Did that begin yesterday? No. It's been 15 years. Yes.
Wow.
So
Good.
that's why what we do now determines our heart attack tomorrow. Yes.
Let's go a bit into details. You have mentioned some pretty young age. You mentioned 25, where maybe someone would have started getting comfortable in their life.
Yes.
And what I can hear, someone becomes less active, and then this buildup of cholesterol and the complication now begins to build up.
Yes.
What exactly happens? Let's go deep into this particular conversation and understand what exactly happens. When that means when I walk less, cholesterol builds up. We need to understand that mathematics, how it
Yes,
comes into place, so that
it
we can.
starts with damage to that blood vessel in the heart. Remember, it's about the heart.
Yes.
So the blood vessel in the heart gets damaged. Once it's damaged, because you smoke, you take too much alcohol, because you're overweight, because you are an inactive person, you love using motorized devices all the time. So that damage attracts cholesterol at that point. That cholesterol is absorbed and it starts building up at that point. So with time, the body, of course, will try to adjust and cover it up so that normal blood flow
Yes.
goes on. And after a while, if the your blood pressure goes up, like you see what happens when men are dying in lodges on duty.
And that has been now
Yeah.
a common thing happening.
Yes, people immediately throw in the blue pill and all that. But what has happened is a heart attack has been triggered because a clot has formed. That cholesterol plague has ruptured. When it ruptures, the body responds by forming a clot. That's how the body works. That clot, unfortunately, blocks that blood vessel. When it blocks it, of course, the blood flow is cut off, and the heart starts to die. Unfortunately, again, this young lady is not yours, so she will not report immediately. She will try to pray and hope that things get better.
Yes.
However, if people report on time within 90 minutes, you get medical attention, then you're likely to get well. Because it's a blockage issue,
Yeah.
a blockade. So you just need to unblock that blood vessel,
Yes.
and your life continues. Yes.
You've mentioned so many things that I have a lot of questions at once, but
Yeah.
allow me to start here. We've talked about cases that we have experienced, and a number of cases which have involved, I would say, affairs between older men and younger ladies.
Yes.
And a lot has been blamed on the younger ladies who have been accused of killing the older men. But scientists like you have come to, through testing, to realize that it was a blood issue. It was a
Those are heart conditions. Heart issues majorly.
which have built up over time.
Over time, yeah.
So this are there signs we can watch out for? Because you tell us that the build-up begins until some point where the heart attack strikes. Do we have signs?
At that point when a heart attack is occurring, of course, for men, they tend to have chest pains that radiate to the left. So that kind of chest pain to the left and to the back. Some report heartburn at that point. Some will have a headache. They'll have stomach pain.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and briefly after that, they may go unconscious. Yes.
This is very close to the heart attack itself.
This is very close to the heart attack.
It's not like 5 months to the heart attack.
No. But the people may feel a bit unwell initially, but signs that you will easily ignore.
Because they probably common to other diseases as well?
Yes, they are not compelling. They will not send you to hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as we continue to talk about this particular conversation, it's good for us to understand that, in the days of the past, we thought this was an issue of the older people, but it is now affecting the younger people. And a lot of these particular diseases that happen nowadays have been attached, have been given the name lifestyle diseases, and that new food has been also blamed. The intake of food and the amounts and everything have been also attached to a number of diseases.
Yes.
Does nutrition affect whether you get a heart attack or not? And if that happens, then how does it happen?
2 ways. Number one, if you eat too much, you gain weight.
Yes.
When you become overweight or obese, then you damage the functioning of your blood vessels. When that happens, then you're likely to have those cholesterol plaques, which later rupture and cause a heart attack. So that is one way. The other way, people don't take vegetables, like men who drink alcohol, they hardly get in touch with vegetables. So you lack potassium and magnesium, the essential minerals that you need. Some of those minerals are important for the functioning of the heart. Again, that is how nutrition plays a key role. But in terms of weight management, weight is served at the table. So 80% food, then 20% exercise can help you to manage your weight. Yes.
And eventually prevent you from having a heart attack.
Yes.
Kindly mention a bit, before we go to alcohol, you've mentioned alcohol twice.
Yes.
So we shall not just allow it to pass. We need to talk about alcohol and smoking. But before that, you've mentioned about the complication in itself and how food has affected, and now we've gone to exercise. How does exercise really go into preventing heart attack?
Great. I'll give you an example that most people can relate with. You know Usain Bolt? He has a heart rate of 33 beats per minute while at rest. So he's resting, he has a minute, you have a minute. His is 33 beats per minute, yours is 100. So your heart beats 100 times in just 1 minute. His does it in 33 minutes. That's a very efficient heart. So if your heart beats 100 times per minute, because you do not exercise, it means it works overtime. All the time. It is ever running to nowhere. You're resting, but your heart is running. So over time, that's an efficient heart.
Yes.
Such people, in fact, 30 to 50% of the people don't exercise end up with cardiovascular diseases. So if you lead a lifestyle that is an inactive lifestyle,
Yes.
chances are very high you'll end up with high blood pressure and heart disease, diabetes, in fact, name them.
Yes.
Yes.
So people should exercise much more.
Most days.
Yes.
And people must be active all the days.
All the days.
Yes, don't eat if you don't work.
Whoa, that is strong. Don't eat if you don't work. Because we're living in a time where we have a number of people sitting in their offices and they are eating from their offices. Most people actually, in the name of work, sit in the offices, order food to come from outside.
Yes.
The ordering food, the business of ordering food is booming right now. This is definitely something we need to focus on, even beyond this particular conversation.
Yes.
And I'm glad you're here, because now we are doing the groundbreaking. The work is yet to be done. And I'm glad, if you're watching, I know you are jotting down a lot of things and you're likely to change your habits. That is, if they want, right? It's a choice.
No, unfortunately, people always think that it should be your choice. But when you get a heart attack, all of us run around.
Yes.
Your relatives, your friends,
Yes.
you call us for Harambe at Garden Square. You know, it affects everybody.
Yes.
So imagining that only infectious disease affects people in the community is very wrong. Yes. Today, NHIF spends about 2 billion in a year to pay for dialysis. So we really have to combine efforts and fix this.
Yes.
Yes. So I'd like to give a summary of what people need to do to prevent heart attacks. Number one, monitor your blood pressure. Keep it below 120/80. Don't be lenient. Books will say above 140/90 is high, but keep it below 120/80. That is the normal blood pressure. Number two,
Yes.
don't take too much alcohol. For men, more than 2 bottles of beer per day is too much. For ladies, more than 1 bottle is too much.
Yes.
Okay? Smoking is quit smoking. Then be very active. Exercise most days. Be active all days. Then maintain a healthy weight. Yes.
Definitely. Let's talk about smoking and alcohol. Before we wind up this conversation, my director tells me you have like 3 minutes.
Yes.
So we're gonna bring it down by looking at why alcohol. What does alcohol do to the body? What does smoking do to the body that is so detrimental to getting a heart attack?
Smoking has been shown to damage blood vessels. So when you have your blood vessels are damaged, it means they are weak.
Yes.
If they are weak, then they easily burst, like we have in hemorrhagic strokes that involve bursting of blood vessels. A stroke occurs when blood supply to the brain is cut off. Yeah. So and then we have alcohol has been associated with directly with higher cases of high blood pressure. So people drink a lot will tend to have higher blood pressure. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So you make a choice.
Make a choice.
It's from my heart to yours. Make a choice.
Definitely.
Yes.
And as we wind up, you mentioned dialysis. Dialysis is associated with kidneys.
Yes.
Does that mean heart attack will contribute to other diseases that are, cardiovascular complications would directly contribute to other diseases or other organs?
They are related. So if you have high blood pressure, it's likely to lead to a stroke, to a heart attack, or to kidney failure. If you have diabetes, you're likely to get a stroke, heart attack, kidney failure. So they are so related. Yeah, these are organs that work together. Yes. So that's why fixing it is just that simple process of quit alcohol, reduce alcohol, quit smoking, keep normal weight, exercise. It's that easy as it's put.
Yes.
Believe it. Yes, believe it.
All right. This conversation never ends. As much as time has come to, we've come to the stop of this conversation due to time constraints. But before you just go, I want you to turn back to your camera. Tell people your ultimate goal in this fight. Before we listen to a song that you released about heart attack, tell us what your ultimate goal is in this fight. And bearing in mind, the other day we saw you run from Nairobi to Gilgil.
Yes.
How many kilometers?
120.
120.
120, 80.
120, 80.
Yeah,
120 kilometers from that is really fantastic and breathtaking to hear someone ran for 120 kilometers for championing people to keep checking their blood pressure.
Yes.
All right, talk to your people.
My objective is simple: to see an end to the burden of high blood pressure. You are going to help me to achieve this by fixing your own, so that in the near future we'll see a reduction in heart attacks, heart failures, cardiac arrests by 25% by the year 2025. This is an objective of the World Health Organization. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Where can people get you?
I'm on Twitter at Zablon Mokama, Facebook Zablon Orina, and the blood pressure champion.
Yes.
This is what I do every day.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us in this particular conversation tonight. We are honored to have hosted you. Now, you have had it, and Zablon Orina is here, blood pressure champion. You can actually check that on Twitter. He's very active on Twitter, the blood pressure champion, Zablon, at Zablon Mokama. Now, he's also a corporate trainer. If you need to be trained on how to get to your retirement age with your heart intact. This is a man to look for. You can actually get him, and he will be of much help. He now also released a song that teaches you on blood pressure. My director, if that song is ready, kindly let's listen to the song.
Make your short story longer. Sudden death isn't sudden. Heart attacks and the strokes. Get it right all the time. To make your short story longer. Sudden death isn't sudden. Heart attacks and the strokes. Get it right all the time. Keep your blood pressure lower, normalize kilo zako, normalize exercise. Make your short story longer, 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 make your short story sweeter, make your short story longer, make your short story longer, make your short story longer, make your short story sweeter.
Now that is the song. You can find it on YouTube at Zablon Orina, YouTube. The song is Make Your Short Story Longer. You need to make your short story longer and be sure you get to enjoy